Well, hey, good evening. Welcome back to my little gardening show. Out on the back deck. It's Monday night. Um, kind of babysitting the stock pot that I got going with all the San Marzano tomatoes we sauced last night. So right now I'm just kind of cooking down the tomato sauce and kind of hanging out. The wind is starting to pick up. I don't know if we're supposed to be getting some, possible some rain at some point, but it's a hot one. It's been in the 90s, I think 91 today, and our air conditioning's on the blink. The line froze up or whatnot, and so we had a tech come out, and basically we got the air off right now. We've got a bunch of box fans set up and trying to keep the lights down and uh, pulling the cool air out of the basement and pushing it upstairs. So it's probably about 80 degrees in the house right now. A little bit on the warmer side, but it's not going to kill us. In fact, I remember the last time this happened, which was in May, because we've been, I guess the AC unit's an older unit. It's going to be several $1,000s to replace it, so we've just kind of been babying it along. But I remember the last stint back in May around Memorial Day, we were without air conditioning for about a week, and it was pretty hot, but your body adjusts. I noticed that once, going to work or whatnot, being in mechanized air, it was cold. So anyway, we're kind of dealing with that this week right now, and I don't know. Hopefully we'll figure something out. I guess they're gonna come back out sometime this week once the line is completely thawed out and then kind of check things out. I think the initial assessment is that there's a leak somewhere, and it's like a really tiny one, but the the air conditioner's days are numbered, basically. Let's see what else is going on. We celebrated my son's 10th birthday this past weekend. We got a family party coming up in September. So I've got a daughter that was born in September, and then he was in August. And so to kind of make it easier on the family at large, we've kind of buddied up birthdays where, at least the summer ones, where two of the kids would try to celebrate a big family party, at one time, so that, it's save a little bit on money, save a little bit on time, because everybody's schedules are just so busy and it's hard to get everyone together. And then early in the summer, we do the same thing with two of our daughters that were born on the same day, 9 years apart. So that's kind of works out perfect for them. And then we got some December birthdays that we celebrate. But I don't know, things are good. We had a good time this past weekend. We're gonna see what else. We started our homeschool co-op. I've got 12 families participating this year, and that's exciting. So we had the ice cream. So we did a little ice cream social. Kind of partnered with a local church that's given us some space to facilitate classes there. Doing a lot of it on through the week through Google Classroom, and then meet once a week as a group to kind of review what they've learned for the week, and kind of it's accountability more than anything, and just getting around other like-minded people. It worked out really well last year. It's a lot of work, especially for my wife. It's kind of what she's doing full time for the most part, is kind of handling the kids' education. I support those efforts, but I'm not near as entrenched, involved in their day-to-day education, and teaching them, training them up, as far as their subjects and things like that. But arrangement, right now things are working well together. Normally she'd be helping me with the canning and putting things up, but the last 2 years, with the way the co-op's been, requiring just so much time and energy as far as planning and getting prepared, I've been kind of, most of that's fallen to me to do, which I don't mind. I enjoy being outside and canning and spending time like that. It's no big deal, really, and I'm glad to help. So I did this ice cream social, and the weekend prior to that, and then this past weekend, they did a shoe drive for a program called watersteps.org or something. And the idea is that they collect gently used shoes. Really, it's shoes in any condition, but they prefer if they've got some life left in them. I think they did close to 5,000 pounds between the 2 weekends, and so one of our service projects is to help them, man those weekends, particularly the second one, and help load the truck. So we spent, before our meeting with the families and stuff, spent time loading the truck with close to 5,000 pounds of shoes. And basically that stuff gets trucked off and they sort it out, and then I don't know if they sell them or what they do, recycle them, but then they turn around and take the money and put it towards clean water projects in developing countries, that don't have reliable clean water, which is something we kind of take for granted. Bud, you coming outside to play, Bud?
Hey, Daddy, I gotta show you.
You're gonna show me something. Yeah, so younger two kids are a little stir crazy because they're not on media. He's trying to figure out what to do with himself. Here, let's film you, Bud. Bud. Hey, tell us about your birthday, Bud.
Terrible.
No, it wasn't. Don't lie.
But it's not bad. It is.
Can you guys smell the tomato sauce?
It smells so bad.
No, it smells good.
Oh,
What do you mean it smells?
It smells like rotted tomatoes. Mm-hmm.
What's this? Some plane? Part of your army stuff, Bud? Watch out, Bud.
Yeah.
Stop.
Wait, remember those ignorant stuffy tomorrow? Okay.
Alright, stop. Hey, why don't you guys get your little snack? I don't know. We'll see. When Mom gets back, we'll make that decision. She's picking up Emma right now. Okay? Once you guys go back in, you can play for a little bit then. Real quick. Alright, so let's see if we can adjust this. So where were we? We're talking about this past weekend and helping out with the service project, loading up a U-Haul full of old shoes for this watersteps.org program. And then afterwards we had our little kind of orientation, homeschool orientation for the co-op this year, and that was interesting. We've got again 12 families, 4 of them brand new, weren't with us last year, and so just trying to get everybody on the same page, communicate kind of the vision, the mission of the group, what we're trying to accomplish, and basically very much it's a cooperative effort. What we found is that there's a lot of people that they like the idea of homeschooling. They agree with it, but when it comes down to it, they really are looking for somebody else to do it for them. And so one thing we learned from between last year and this year was to have a little bit more of a screening interview with potential families or prospective families that want to join up, be a part of it. And it doesn't take long. My wife's gotten pretty good at it. She was doing those interviews and could tell right away kind of the level of commitment that parents had. And we had some where they were basically behavior issues with their children and were kind of looking for an alternative school to dump them off at, and try to give us assurances that, oh yeah, they'll be better, there shouldn't be a problem, blah blah, but more often than not, it just magnifies the problems when you're in a setting like that, because you're trying to get attention, things like that, and really dealing with the behavioral issues, it starts at home, and making sure you get structure and you're disciplining your kids, putting boundaries there and holding them accountable, and not being mean about it, but explaining why certain things are important, just kind of taking the time to teach them, bring them along. Anyway, we found a lot of parents are just struggling, and part of it is a challenge that most people are, they've got two breadwinners in the home. Because the cost of living is so much nowadays, or because the standard of living that they want to have requires them, both parents to be working full time, maybe it's a single parent situation or whatever. But the end result is that parenting is a lot more challenging, because your kids are spending a good deal of time away from the home, and their primary influence becomes their peers, and maybe teachers, but you lose that time, and unless you've got some activities, or you're being real intentional on the weekend to make up for that, it becomes a challenge. It's not easy raising kids nowadays. And so anyway, we came across a lot of that, just parents that are tired, they're wore out, they're looking for a solution. They don't want to be in the public school system. They see a lot of advantages with homeschooling, and they just need a lot of help. And so in talking with them, there's the ones that want to just kind of drop off that responsibility onto other people. But what makes kind of what we're trying to do unique is the idea is that if you're going to participate, at least one parent has to be present, and they have to teach a class and or help facilitate. And so right there, it kind of screened out a bunch of people that would otherwise have tried to be a part. With that being said, we got, families came together, just kind of a real quick assessment, and there's some that were really, I think, a little more excited about, because they seem eager to participate and go all in, and apply their best effort to giving their kids the best education possible and kind of contribute to the group. And then we got a handful that remains to be seen. Maybe they hoodwinked us a little bit. Their commitment, at least initial assessment, maybe isn't quite there like it needs to be. So I don't know, it's going to be interesting this year to see how everything plays out. Whether it becomes too much or not. We've kind of talked about that if last year was a challenge. We worked through some challenges, and just a ton of work for my wife especially. And if things don't, improve, if we don't get the buy-in this year to it and the support, then the idea is that maybe we go to a more loose affiliation, kind of how we started our first year over here, where we just found one or two like-minded people through just social circles or whatnot, and we're just bartering, trading classes, and kind of meeting at each other's house and whatnot. So I don't know. There just seems to be a real leadership gap nowadays. You're not saying that we're perfect and have it all figured out. By no means. That's not the case. I mean, we still struggle and all that, but there's just not a lot of people that are willing to put themselves out there and be responsible, more for them, for in a group setting or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see if we can encourage, bring some people along this year, and hopefully it goes well. And I know regardless, the kids really enjoy it. They enjoy kind of meeting these other kids, spending a little time in a social setting once a week, doing that. Through the week, they get social interaction with us and family members, and they don't seem to be awkward at all around their peers. They're pretty well balanced, I think. So I don't know. We should check the tomato sauce. I'll take you along here real quick as we go take a look at that. Flip the camera around here. We got the big slicers. I don't know if you can really see that. In the cool water there. Was hoping to get to those tonight. Here's our big vat of sauce. This is again about 21 quarts going here. Most of these are Romas, or not Romas, San Marzanos, and we've got some Italian paste that ended up being a pretty nice tomato. But cooking this down, looks like I've cooked off about an inch of liquid. I'll know that it's cooked down because it will be kind of goopy as it's bubbling. Let's go over and grab the spatula. There's a dog. It smells pretty good. I've had this on the burner for close to 2 hours now. It took a good Grandma, what you doing?
I'm seeing the famous pot that you guys got. Ooh. Yeah, the big one that Mama was talking about. Okay.
Hey, I saw the message come through. It says I'm still streaming, but the video feed is gone. At least it's not updating. There we go. I'm back. Oh. So you got a show at 9 o'clock? It's getting dark on me. I'm going to have to turn the light on. We got another probably at least an hour left to cook on that sauce. Hey, you guys need to shut that door. I gotta go shut the door real quick because they left it open. You gonna shut it, child?
Actually, it's colder out here than it is in the house.
Or you wanna be in my video? Why don't you turn the light on?
I'm doing the dishes right now.
Alright. Can you turn the light on?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, that made a difference. So what else is going on? We've been talking about the Canon a little bit. Yeah, I might have to stop by and check that out. You said 9 o'clock, huh? I could probably do that. I've been trying to live stream a little bit more. Actually, this is the first year I've ever tried live streaming, and I don't normally keep the videos up though. Like I'll live stream and then I'll delete them. Uh-oh. Because sometimes we're just chatting, shooting the breeze. You know, it's not like we're talking about anything like super important and all that. Do you guys keep your videos up, or do you delete them after you do a live stream? Well, it's what, about 8:30 right now, so that means your show's going to start here about a half hour. What I'll probably do then is jump off here and then check that out. Unless I get some people that jump on here wanting to chat with me, then I'll stay on for a little bit. But I need to check out your channel. So anyway, I got, we want to make some more salsa here. What you got there, honey?
Yeah.
What'd you make? Want to show everybody? Good job, honey. So we got all those slicers in the cooler.
Oh, Daddy, that's,
There you go.
ziggy thing. And then I did this one.
What else did you do? Let me see this one.
It's a gold.
Oh, that's pretty. I like that.
I
But
used lemon foil for the can. Look how many cans. What is this? That's like an N.
yeah, they're pretty excited about school. You excited?
We're going to the lake tomorrow.
You're going to the lake? Oh my.
But sadly, we can't go.
Yeah, I won't be going. I gotta work tomorrow, honey. That's okay though. You guys will have fun up there. So I've got a big cooler full of
All about the lake.
Yeah, you tell me all about the lake. Maybe you can draw me a picture. Why don't you shut that door so we don't let hot air in, okay? Or is it cooler out here than it is in the house? Well, you have to feature my channel. And then, I tell you what, I'll make a video. I should do a video, a review of like channels, and maybe I could do a review of your channel or something like that. That'd be kind of fun. Where are you guys? Oh, that's cool. I need all the subs I can get. Yeah, I know there's a lot of talk about like the YouTube algorithm and this, that, and the other. And as much as it'd be great to be making money doing this, because I guess before they demonetized everything, I was making, I don't know, ended up being around 125 bucks a year, enough to get a few pizzas, you know, enough to cover my video editing software. I got I guess a step up Corel, you know, not Adobe or anything like that, but enough to do like nice little thumbnails and, you know, add some music in and try to be a little bit more professional. But it seems like you got to be on here every day, and I mean, there's some I know they're really working it. They're on here every day. Sometimes they're making multiple videos a day, doing live streams, doing whatnot. And I just kind of think, man, like quality of life, like how does that affect, you know, as far as your mindset? Because it's kind of like you're always you're trying to figure out what you can you're trying to figure out how you can stay relevant or compelling. So I don't know. I go through spurts. I'll make a lot of videos during the spring and the summer, you know, when there's stuff to actually, you know, film and talk about a little bit more. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to be on your channel sometime. Like, I don't know how you want to work that, but I think that'd be kind of cool to be featured, maybe even be part of a live show where I'm in on it too or something. Somehow, that'd be kind of fun. Be able to shoot the breeze with other gardeners slash homesteaders slash people that kind of like, you know, messing with stuff like this. Right now I'm trying to do at least one video a week, you know, and I've got enough content with what we're doing right now this time of year that I can do that. In fact, I've got a couple that are already kind of teed up. I found if I post them too soon, they don't get the views. That's cool. I've been on YouTube for about 6 years. And I don't know, I haven't gained a ton of traction. Sounds good. Good luck with the show. I will pop by there. How long does the show run? How long do you guys film or run your live stream? Okay, yeah. Well, I'll definitely stop by. Kids are usually going to bed about 9, and I'll be out here. I mean, this sauce is going to cook to probably about 11 o'clock tonight. So I'll have time. I'll stop by. we'll see you. See you in a little bit. So anyway, talking about the whole YouTube thing, this is more of just a little hobby for me, way to kind of get to know a few people and uh, document a little bit of what we're doing. And it's fun for the kids too, because we've been doing it for about 6 years now, so we can go back and watch earlier videos when they were younger, and they get a kick out of that. It's just, it's fun kind of putting something together. It gives me a creative outlet too, as far as yeah. You can have a snack.
A bedtime one?
Yeah.
Just not ice cream, right?
Yeah, just not ice cream. Anyway, it's fun, putting stuff up, trying to be a little creative on it. Again, not, my goal's not to necessarily make money off of it. I mean, if that happens at some point, that's great. Buy a few pizzas, upgrade my software, get a little return on the investment. But it's more just for posterity's sake, and having a, documenting what we're doing, and hopefully getting better at it. We've tried different things as far as gardening. I feel like I've learned a good deal. There's some things I've learned that I know that it's certain things we should be doing, but just from a practical standpoint, just at a place where that's not sustainable for me right now, if that makes sense. A good model, that's that whole back to Eden gardening method and whatnot. And where we live, it's a chore to get that kind of material in on a garden, to get that kind of cover mulch. And then working that, like we don't have fruit trees, so there's not going to be like that source of where that fungal network can hook into, or having a plan set that would attract a mycorrhizal fungal network, so that you could kind of build the soil and then tap into that later in the year. I don't know, all those things. It's a lot more of a long-term deal, and so we're kind of doing more of a pragmatic approach to it. Like we do put a cover mulch every year on the garden, but we're tilling. We're using natural or organic fertilizers, things like that. So anyway, it's a I don't know, you do what you can, right? And that's like with anything in life, whether it's gardening or your diet, habits. I mean, there's a lot of books out there, and a lot of self-help, a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of things you could do, and a lot of, you can kind of go off in one extreme or another, but somehow you got to find a balance, and figure out what works as far as what you can practically implement, that works for your family and works for just kind of your life situation, in terms of gardening, eating, things like that. And I know there's, different viewpoints on that, and there's people that have been really successful by being Hi Michelle, how you doing? You found my channel. Have you been on to Mrs. Green Thumb yet? I bet she's live streaming right now. Yeah, I don't live stream consistently. I've been about once a week here lately. I've been trying to spend some time just hanging out on the back deck since we're out here anyway, cooking down stuff that we're gonna. So kind of making, redeeming the time, so to speak, making good use of it, getting to know people. Maybe Mrs. Green Thumb will stop by and say hi. So anyway, we're at just kind of a point right now. Yeah, I definitely pray for you. You know, that's something we don't talk a lot about and I don't make a big deal on my channel about all that stuff, but prayer definitely changes things. You know, um, I don't know where you're at as far as your views of spirituality or religion or anything like that, but um, just through personal experience. Um, there's definitely a creator, a sustainer of all things, and from my point of view, we're Christians, so we um, follow that line of that faith, basically. So yeah, prayer changes things. It's changed things in our life. Um, kind of different things that have happened over the years. You know, um, I guess one story, one of my daughters, when she was really young, ended up developing food allergies. Wow. I'm sure you've probably looked at dietary things, right? You know, trying to do what you can from that standpoint, as far as changing your diet to try to address chronic issues. I know there's a lot of studies been done on the effects of like GMO foods and things like that, and how a lot of these chronic conditions and diseases um, can be traced back to that, where the body can't metabolize. Well, I definitely will pray for you tonight. I know that sounds like you got a lot going on there. As far as anxiety, one of the things from a wow. It's hard not to be anxious, especially when you're going through things. Like, there's nothing worse really than, or I won't say nothing worse, but one of the worst things to deal with is chronic conditions, chronic pain. It can wear you down mentally. It can create the anxiety that you're talking about, where you're under a lot of stress and pressure physically, and it can be very oppressive. Um, yeah, I know my wife, she's dealt with a variety of conditions over the years, things that, depression is a big one that I don't want to say it's seasonal necessarily, but it comes and goes, and has to make a real conscientious effort to take captive those thoughts. And a lot of it's chemically driven. Chemicals. And they. I know that there's some people that are totally against like medicine. Yeah, I do that. How long have you been in that condition? Like, how long have you been suffering from all that stuff? Wow. Have you been, how long have you been disabled, like as far as being eligible for like disability benefits? Hey, Ruthie. Ruthie. I get my daughter out here. You want to be in my live stream, child? She just got done doing dishes. You gonna say hi? You look tired. You look frustrated.
I hate doing the dishes at nighttime.
Yeah, it's not a fun chore, is it?
Who joined?
There's a gal named Michelle. She's on there's a show called Mrs. Green Thumb. Anyway, she found my channel and she's been sharing with me how she's basically suffering from all these like chronic conditions.
I think I've watched a couple of your videos. The Mrs. Green Thumb.
Yeah, it sounds like if all that stuff's happening like it is.
Smells like
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna check on my sauce, but Ruthie's gonna talk to you.
So you have a YouTube channel? Yeah, I talked about it. Yeah, well, I guess my dad left. I'm not sure what he was doing. I guess I'll sit here. Well, I'm Ruthie. It's nice to meet you, I guess. My dad's been doing YouTube since like 2011. I'm good. How are you? Is your name Michelle? I didn't quite get the profile thing. Yeah, he's basically been doing YouTube videos since I was about maybe 6 or 7. Just kind of been obsessed with it ever since. But we've had a garden for a while. I don't know how long. Oh man, I'm sorry about that. Well, I'll be praying for you. What kind of chronic pain do you have? Like, I don't know. I think my dad has like back pain, but I don't know. Yeah, I usually don't like being filmed. That's why I'm so awkward in front of the camera. And I don't quite know what to say all the time. Oh man. So it must be really bad. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. I'm sure it's a struggle. Yeah, I don't think... Oh, man. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. That must be really hard. Yeah, I'll definitely be praying for you. I'm sure it's really painful, and I'm really sorry about that. Oh my gosh.
What's that? So
I feel bad.
who's on now?
It's the same gal. She told me about all the stuff she's going through. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna be jumping off of here. I gotta get the kiddos tucked in, and then we're gonna be winding things down. So I'll try to get on here again, and we'll pray for you tonight.
Yeah.
It sounds like you got a lot of stuff going on.
We'll pray for now.
Yeah, we could. Well, we'll go ahead and pray for you now, Michelle. How about that?
You know I didn't do it.
I don't know if she's still on there or not.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
Lord, we do just come before you in prayer, and I just lift Michelle to you tonight. And you know the situation. You know just all the challenges she's going through with her health, Lord. And Father, you're the God that heals. You're our healer. So Lord, if be you will, I just pray that you would just grant her healing, that you give the doctors wisdom to know how to address the things that she's going through, and whether it's a combination of diet and medicine or whatever, or whether you just want to touch her, Lord. We just lift her to you and just ask that you would you grant her relief, Lord, and just bless her tonight. And we just give you praise, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, well, Michelle, have a good night.
Yeah, I'll be praying for you. Amen's right. Well,
We'll catch you another night.
yeah.
Maybe over on Mrs. Green Thumbs.
We love you too.
We'll see you later.